For the YouTube subscribers. Well, subscribe already. Hit the fucking like button and subscribe before I knock your ass out, man. I ain't fucking with you, man.
UFC 267 back in Abu Dhabi at Yas Island. Fight Island is back, guys. What a card we have here from top to bottom. Mainly the main card. There are some good fights, of course, also in the prelims, early prelims. A lot of Russian fighters, a lot of overseas fighters on this card. You only find two American fighters, Cory Sandhagen and Petrovsky, the Ultimate Fighter guy is there as well. But yeah, tons of overseas talent, tons of Brazilians as well, Eastern European, so it should be interesting. You don't see these guys a ton, and especially as of late because of COVID. Let's get into last week's card here. Last week's card, up and down card for me for once. It's been a nice run, but we had a 2-2 all fights card. No profit. We did hit on Vettori. Vettori did hit as the main event play, so hopefully you guys did bet that on the early price. Dawson was the ruin. Dawson ruined the night, at least for me. It would have been a profitable night if Dawson won by decision. I took him by decision. It was close. I thought he won the decision. One judge had him to win a decision, and then they had two draws, so it was a draw. Tough luck, right? I do think he lost the third round, but do I think it was a 10-8? No. Glenn somehow controlled him on the ground for pretty much most of the round, but there was no damage done. He controlled him on the ground. He did get some late ground and pound late, but and he got that submission as well. He had a submission attempt towards the end, but I just don't think it was warranted a 10-8 round. Dawson obviously won the first two rounds. So I did think it was just a 2-1 win for Dawson. But if you don't finish the fight strong and you lose the third round pretty easily, it's tough. And the judges just probably remember that third round, especially Chris Lee when he's on the judge panel, right? So, yeah, tough one there when you lose on a draw. And then we had Choi in the parlay with Vettori. And Choi, he looked great. He looked great early on in that fight. Great striking. He knocked down Alex twice. But Alex showed his toughness, and he didn't give up, and he got that sub. And that's where I think he had some advantage there. Pull off a sneaky sub. He's a sneaky type fighter. But, yeah, Choi looked great. I can't wait to see him back in there. Great striker. But he got caught. He got caught with the, I think it was a guillotine, if I remember correctly. And that was the upset there. So we did miss out on that one. However, it's still a nice 37-11 client run, guys. Here's a little weekly update of all sports. That's 77%, guys, and that's over a few months now. So nice run we have going now. No one really cares about an 8-1 run, or it's still good. Don't get me wrong. You're on a nice 6-0 run, like NBA. I'm on a nice 7-0 run to start the season. I love that. Sure, that's great. But these long-term runs are more impressive, like one like this or one in my golf. Anytime it's longer term, that's what you want to look for, right? You don't want to really look for runs that are, just a 5-0, 6-0 or anything like that. Sure, they're great, but they're not as impressive. So when you get a run like this at 77%, this is what I look for. This is what I strive for, long-term winning. 65% best bets over 2 years and just under 50 units in profit. PGA. Yes, guys, we hit another outright winner with Hideki last week. It's starting to get ridiculous. And, I've been betting on sports for a long time now. And hitting 5 outright golf winners in 9 events is unheard of. This is definitely the highest in the market. It's not even close. I'm expecting regression, guys. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you guys, you're going to expect regression when you're betting big plus money winners. Right, these are plus money winners. There's people that bet plus 1,100 to get their NFL Super Bowl winner at the beginning of the year. Right? There's teams like KC, Tampa, they were like plus 600, plus 400. What's the point of betting that? Right? When you can hit golf winners like this, and this is just in one weekend, right? And we have 5 hours. Look at the tickets here. This is the last 9 events. There's a plus 4,500 there, a plus 2,500. The lowest is there's a plus 650. But then there's another plus 1,800. I have another plus 4,500 with Harris English. It was longer than 9 events ago. You can date it back to maybe 14 events. So it's been unbelievable in the outright market, and not just the outright market as well. You know, PGA just all around has been outstanding for me. 69% best bets over 2 years, guys, over 2 years, and just over 60 units in the prop market. So it's been great, the PGA. My clients are definitely enjoying that. I can cap, multiple sports, and PGA being one of them. NFL up and down last week. Props bailed us out due to the Eagles losing. We had the Eagles on a teaser, and I also had them plus 3. And of course, you guys know, if you do follow me, we had them in the outright market as well as the underdog, and they didn't show up. I did think it was a good spot for them. Did think it was a good spot for the Eagles. But we did profit on the prop market, so that did help me out there. I was low volume last week. We went 1-1 in spreads and totals, which was Eagles plus 3, and then I had the over. So we hit on the over in that Oakland-Philly game, which was a fairly easy cash. Update here, 21-11 client run right now. 21-11 client run, 64% in the spreads and total market, and 5-2 outright underdog outright market for free plays, guys. 4-3 in the teaser and money line plays. So another sport, another profitable sport for us, guys. We know how we do in the NFL over the years. NBA, like I mentioned earlier, what a start. 7-0 all bets so far in the NBA. Seeing it clearly right now, so we will continue to attack it. I will be low volume. I just happened to find some good spots to start early. I haven't bet on the NBA in the past 2 days, but I will get some more volume. NHL low volume right now. Wasn't a good start in the NHL. However, a nice winner with the Lightning last night. Nice 5-1 winner there. And like I mentioned last year, 65% NHL season. So I expect to get more winners there. Let's hear from my friend Meredith before we get into the main card.
Guys, Meredith Gorman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Guys, also remember, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, System Capping. I post all my winning tickets on Instagram, so you can check it there. It's all saved in my stories there, and I post them also on my feed. I give free plays out there as well. Follow me on both social media platforms, and of course check out systemsportscapping.com to become a client today. Get all my personal plays. I had a handful of guys sign up this month, adding to my long client list that I've been gaining over the past few years, so I do appreciate it. Trying to grow on Twitter, trying to grow on Instagram. A lot of my guys are more big money players, or just guys that I know that bet, that aren't really active on Twitter and aren't really active on Instagram, but I'm trying to grow that market. Trying to grow on that. Like, a lot of my guys aren't going to go on Twitter and comment, right? Because either I know them, or they're older guys that bet more money, and they don't waste their time on Twitter. However, I do have some followers, of course, that loyalty followers that always comment. Just please comment, guys. It helps me a lot, and hit that like button. That helps as well. Just a quick update for you guys. Next week I'll be away. Next week I'll be away in Vegas and California, visiting clients and a friend out there as well. It's a vacation, but it's not. I'll be betting with clients live in person, so that'll be fun. I'll be doing videos still. I'm committed, guys. I've been doing videos straight for 2 years now for you guys. So I'll be in Laguna Beach in California. Yes, it's nice there. Never been, so I'm excited. I'll do a video from there, from the hotel room. Hopefully get a nice view of the water there for you guys. And in Vegas, I think I'll be in Mandalay Bay, I think, one night. Maybe I'll try to get into the sports book, do a setup over there. Let's get right into it, guys. Let's get right into it. Shop around for the best price. If you want my personal plays and best bets for this card, head over to my site. Main event, we got 2 titles on the line. One interim and one main event title shot. This is the fight right here with Jan Blachowicz minus 280 versus Glover Teixeira plus 230. The 2 older guys who some would have said this would never happen a few years ago, right? Imagine guessing a few years ago that this would be the main event for a title shot. You wouldn't guess that. And Jan is here, and Jan is the champion, and he's looked great being the champion. Glover was here before, if you guys remember. He did fight John Jones for the belt once upon a time, 2014. To be exact, I guess when you want to say more, he was in his prime, but it's hard to say that because he's looked great right now, guys, right? So he had some solid wins in his career, obviously. Some big wins over Rashard Evans, if you remember. I think that was 2015, 2016. He has a win over Ryan Bader, Jared Cannonier, just to name a few. And that's as of... It's long. It's like in the 2015 to 2017 range. So that's where I think he was in his prime, even though it's hard to argue that now is not his prime. But let's look at the competition he's been fighting, as of late. So it's something we had to take in consideration here. It's Robertson, a win over Robertson. Kutalaba, nice win over there. Krylov, as well, veteran. Anthony Smith, very impressive win. He was losing that fight at the start and then bounced back and showed his toughness. And then Thiago Santos. So those two are very impressive, the last two wins in this crazy 5-win streak that he's on. He deserves a title shot. Glover does deserve this title shot. Jan also agrees with that. And, this will be his last title shot. If he doesn't win this fight, I don't see him getting this again. He is older now. Is he going to retire after this fight if he loses? Possibly. But, he's like I mentioned, he looks like he's in his prime in this 5-fight win streak. So you never know. Now, Jan, he's also on an impressive 5-fight win streak, guys. I think his resume is even more impressive in those 5 wins. Luke Rockhold, Souza, Cory Anderson, who's tearing up the Bellator rankings right now, Dominic Reyes, and of course Adesanya. So yeah, that's a better 5. Now, that's a 5-fight win streak. This man is looking unstoppable in those fights. What makes Jan so good, in my opinion, is he's very, very well-rounded. Strong wrestler, very strong overall, very solid kickboxer, and he makes you fight at his pace and style. That's what I've noticed watching back the fights. He makes you fight his style. And when he fought Adesanya on the feet, guys, he looked up to par. There wasn't a big difference when Adesanya, if that was just a 5-round kickboxing fight between Jan and Adesanya, I still don't know who would have won the fight. Yes, Jan won because he took him down. Right? That's what sealed the win for him. But if those two just fought, we know Adesanya is one of the best kickboxers in the UFC. But Jan, he was right there with him. Like I mentioned, he made him fight at his pace. And Adesanya was worried about that Polish Power 1 knockout. So that's also something to keep in mind there as well, right? You got to think, is Glover going to be able to continue taking this punishment? And if he gets hit by the Polish Power, we're going to see how he responds, because we've seen Glover before get knocked down. Yes, he comes back, but how much can he take? And if it does go, a few rounds, that's going to be definitely the question here. Now, what Glover does best, guys, is he controls the grappling. He'll control you against the cage. He'll bring it down to the ground, look for a TKO, even maybe a submission. I just don't think he's going to be able to do that against Jan. He's not going to be able to control anything in this fight, in my opinion. Even if he does try to grapple, it's just a hard time seeing him take down Jan. I don't see it happening. If it does get to the ground, I think Jan can get back up. I just don't see it. It's just not a great matchup for Glover. I love Glover. I would love to see him somehow get it done. It would be the story that he could end on, like imagine he just comes back. He had the title shot in 2014. He comes back in 2021 and wins the title. That would be an unbelievable story for the guy. I just don't see this matchup being good for him. So I have to look Jan's way. Now you got to decide how you want to bet it. You're not going to bet it straight up at 280. 2-fight parlay is an option. Or you can take them in an outcome. And it's hard to see this going all 5. So when you don't see it going all 5, you guys know what to do. Bigger guys hit hard. I don't see it going 5. You know, a lot of these main events as of late have been going 5. It has to be Blachowicz within the distance if I were to bet this fight. Co-main, Jan, minus 230 versus Sandhagen, plus 190. We have a fun one here, guys. I'm excited for this one the most, to be honest. Sterling dropped out, we all know, with the neck injury. TJ's hurt, so in comes Cory Sandhagen. Now, I thought he won that TJ fight, so I think this is the right fight here. I think this is the correct fight that should be for the title. Now, lots of people, and even myself, said, I can see Cory Sandhagen being a champion one day. This is his shot. And at plus 190, it's very attractive. Very attractive at this price, seeing Cory Sandhagen at this price. However, he has some tough competition in front of him, Jan. I like both these guys. I just think Jan is a killer in there, man. He's so well-rounded. He showed how good his wrestling is in that last fight against Sterling. He dominated him in the wrestling department. We thought it was going to be the other way around. Maybe not dominate, but we thought Sterling was going to be able to out-wrestle Jan. And Jan just out-wrestled him, dominated him, and just don't forget how good of a boxer he is as well. Where I think Sandhagen will give him some problems is his movement. His movement is really good. He moves well. He can stick and jab. He does have the reach advantage. He does have the height advantage. So it could bring Jan some problems. However, I think if Jan makes it an MMA fight and not just a stand and bang for 5 rounds, Jan wins this fight. Now, Jan's a smart fighter. I don't think he's just going to try to stand and bang with Cory. So I think that's Cory's only path. What I think Jan will do is mix it up. He'll grapple. He'll make it ugly. Some ground and pound. And he can box when the time is, when the fight's on his feet. Because Sandhagen, what he does so good is move. He moves very well. You can see it in the TJ fight. TJ won that fight due to control and his grappling. And that's what I think Jan needs to do here as well. So I think Jan does get it done. It's not a crazy price at minus 230. Do I bet minus 230 straight up? No. But you look at an outcome here, it's tough. So this is a 2-fight parlay candidate for sure for me. I haven't bet it as of yet, but an outcome is tough here. I would have to lean the decision on Jan. But it's a tough call. But I do think this goes deep into the fight. I can definitely see it going some rounds. Both guys don't have a ton of power, but are fairly durable. And I don't see either guy getting caught with anything, crazy. No Sandhagen crazy kicks or anything that Jan's going to get caught with, like Frankie Edgar did a while back there. So, yeah, great fight. Excited for this one. I'll definitely have a bet on this. I haven't bet as of yet. Like I mentioned, I always wait to the weigh-ins, make sure everything's good there, and then I make my official bets. Next fight, Makhachev minus 625. Yes, minus 625 versus Hooker plus 450. Makhachev's getting the Khabib treatment and the Khabib lines. It's almost unbettable. Unbettable lines here. Look at this line. I understand if you want to put a sprinkle on Hooker. Well, I kind of don't because I don't think he's going to win the fight. But at plus 450 in an MMA fight, anything could happen. Hooker's only path is to keep it standing, which I think is going to be very difficult for him. But if he keeps it standing, catch him with a flying knee, catch him with he has some power in his hands. How good is Makhachev's chin? We don't know. It hasn't been tested that much, just because Makhachev be able to grapple and get this to the ground or get all his fights to the ground. That's going to be the story in this fight. Can Hooker avoid the takedowns? And I don't think he can. He's not. I wouldn't say he's a bad wrestler or not known for his take. He's not a bad wrestler, and I don't think he's really known for his takedown. He hasn't been subbed, I don't think. So that's one thing also to look at if you're going to look at an outcome here. And if you're going to look at an outcome, the good thing is here, KO and outcome is both plus money. So you can't go wrong there. You're not going to put minus 625. You're not going to bet that straight, of course. It's not worth really putting in a parlay. Hooker does have a punter's chance here, but he has to get really lucky, right? Two things he's gonna have to do: keep it standing and catch him with a wild, clean shot. Hooker doesn't win this fight by decision. It's almost impossible. It's like a 0.01% chance Hooker wins this by decision. By knockout? Yeah, he could win this by knockout. But here's what's going to happen in this fight for the most part. Makhachev's going to grapple, try to get to this ground, continue pressure, finally get it to the ground. And when he gets to the ground, Hooker's not going to be able to move much or get up. That's what I think is going to happen here. And Makhachev wins. I lean a decision just because I think Hooker's tough. He can avoid the TKO and avoid the sub. However, You know, a later sub could happen. He could keep grinding him. If Makhachev get this fight down early in a round and he has 4 minutes to play with Hooker on the ground, that's going to be dangerous. He could find a sub or a TKO. So look at Makhachev to win the fight, of course. And an outcome's not easy. An outcome's not easy in this fight. But I lean the decision for Makhachev. Volkov, minus 300 versus Tabor at plus 240. You know, I've obviously been liking a lot of favorites so far, and that's just how this card is. I usually don't. I usually find some good dogs. Remember, I had 10 plus money winners. I think it was in 3 cards or 2 cards run, and this was a couple of months ago. I love finding that plus money, but this card is not really meant for that. But if there was a fight on this main card, this would be it, guys. Tabor plus 240. There's value here. There is tons of value here. You know, this price isn't correct. It's not priced correctly, in my opinion, due to Tabor's wrestling capabilities where Volkov struggles. It's fairly simple. If Tabor decides to stand and strike for 3 rounds, yeah, he loses the fight, no doubt about it. He has to make it ugly and grapple and get this to the cage or get it to the ground. And this is why this price is attractive to me. You know, you can't bet Volkov minus 300 in this spot. I just don't see it. You don't want to risk it in a parlay. You don't want to obviously bet minus 300. I guess you can look at Volkov by decision if you're going to bet Volkov. That's the only way to bet Volkov, in my opinion. You know, Volkov's able to keep it standing and he just picks him apart for 3 rounds with his length. Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. But it's Tabor or pass for me. In this fight, you know, plus 240. Come on, guys. You know, does he win this fight? No, I just think it's more of a 55-45 Volkov. All right. So, and you're giving me plus 240 for Tabora. Sign me up on a small unit play. Have I bet it as of yet? No, but if I had to, it would be only Tabor's way. If you do like the Volkov side, bet the decision. Don't lay this crazy price. Chimaev is back, guys. Yes, Chimaev is back. Much anticipated. Minus 575 versus Jinglang plus 425. Another crazy price where it's very difficult to bet. You know, and like I mentioned, guys, I like to find outcomes. I'm good at finding outcomes because you usually get plus money. Chimaev by finish is minus 175. You cannot bet an outcome price minus 175 or even in the minuses, to be honest. You're not going to win that long term. It's just not a smart investment. So this is a fight I'll be passing on. It is an interesting fight. Like Jiang Lang, what does he have for him? He has some power. I think he's fairly tough. He can take a shot. But Chimaev's path to victory is just take him down. TKO win, submission, right? Jin Lang can be taken down. Just over 50% takedown defense is not good. Magny dominated, taking him down fairly easily. Yeah, Magny's a good wrestler, but Chimaev's better. So Chimaev's path is just to take him down, TKO, and get the win here. That's what's probably going to happen. Could Jiang last all 3 rounds? Maybe. Maybe. He is a tough guy. So that's why I can't lay that minus 175 on him by finish. I just can't bet this fight, guys. There's nothing here. And could Jiang catch Chimaev? He has power. We haven't seen Chimaev's chin tested. It is possible. It's just a fight to stay away from. I'm just excited to see Khamzat back. I want to see what he has. Remember, year layoff for Chimaev. He had the COVID issues and everything. So that's something to consider as well. And just not a bettable price in my eyes. And I suggest to just enjoy this one and watch most likely Chimaev just dominate this one on the ground. Main card opener. The opener of the main card. It's one of my favorite fighters, Ankalaev, minus 310 versus Ozumir, plus 250. Ankalaev is back, and I do think this is a great matchup for against Ozumir. Ozumir has shown he's chinny at times. And it's just another high-priced fight where, you know, the favor should get it done. So you have to look at an outcome here. You can't bet the 310. Sure, you can put it in a 2-fight parlay. But 310 is high. And an outcome's tough, but you'd have to lean the finish here. You know, Ozumir's coming off that tough loss to Yuri. We were on Yuri in that fight by KO, plus 240. And he just doesn't fight a ton. Once a year, usually. He's been off for over a year, and he's coming off a knee injury as well. That's something to keep in mind. Now, Ankalaev's coming off a decision win versus Krylov. Didn't look great in that fight. He looked good, but he didn't look great. And does have 6 decisions compared to 8 finishes. So I wouldn't rule out a decision win here for Ankalaev. I do think Ankalaev gets it done. A couple other things to look at Ozumir. You know, the fights that I watch, he usually gasses. Like, especially that Yuri fight, he gassed so early. He gassed in like the middle of the first round. Ozumir is not known for a great gas tank. He does hit hard. So I think he comes out strong in the first round. But Ankalaev's too good of a fighter, in my opinion. I see Ankalaev fighting for the title one day. I just think the gas tank isn't good enough for Ozumir. Outcome is tough. I lean Ankalaev to finish the fight. It's not a guarantee, though, so it'd be a smaller play. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all 3 rounds, but what I mentioned, Ozumir's gas tank is suspect, so that's why I look at Ankalaev by finish. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Like I always say, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. Like the channel. Comment. It helps me out as well. And hopefully you guys enjoy this. This is actually a free card. It should be a pay-per-view card, but it's a free card because of the timing. It's in the afternoon. No one's going to buy a pay-per-view in the afternoon, I guess. So that's a good thing. It's on ESPN Plus. Hopefully you guys do have that. I'm leaving actually on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll have my NFL video out tomorrow as well. Sorry, Friday morning. So look out for that. But yeah, just looking forward to Vegas and California. I haven't got away because of the whole pandemic and everything for about 1.5 years, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.